Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It is Monday, April the 11th of 2022 at 7:30 in the evening, and this is That's Fancy. So actually, it's probably a little bit after 7:30. I had everything set up and then I pushed the wrong button and I shut some stuff down. So I had to start things over again, but here we are. And so I welcome you for some crafting. It is boxes week in the craft studio here, so we will get to more of that in a minute. But while I'm just setting things up, if you are joining me this evening, do say hello. Let me know that you are here watching, and I hope you've had a good day. It did warm up eventually. Hello, Lorna, welcome. But it wasn't that warm today, but beautiful sunshine. So nice, bright, sunny, and tomorrow I think it's supposed to be really warm. So looking forward to that. The ski hill is not officially closed. They are hoping to open this weekend for some Easter weekend skiing, which I don't think I am going to do, but my ski season is officially done. So, once there's no more skiing, it's like, okay, that's it. Get rid of the cold and get rid of the snow and get rid of everything winter-like, and let's get on with spring. So I'm ready. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. So anyway, yes. So my team meeting, the Great Stamping Believers team meeting, is tomorrow evening. And we were planning a crafting day as well, which, as life would have it, is on Thursday. So we will be busy as a group this week. But one of the members of my team had said, I need some boxes. I want to gift some cards and I want to sell some cards at a craft sale. And so I need some boxes to, package them in to make them look lovely. And then I want to sell them. So could we make some boxes? So that's what the team crafting was. And then another member of my team was here on the weekend and she saw another box that I had sitting out. She said, oh, is that the box we're making? And it's like, no, that's not one of them. And she says, oh, I love that one. I would really like to make that one. So that's what we're doing at our team meeting tomorrow night. So then I thought, oh, what am I going to do for that fancy? And I thought, okay, let's just make it boxes week in the craft studio. So little bit different. The next couple of evenings, we are doing boxes that will actually hold cards that you could sell at craft sales or turn into gifts for people, which I'd be more than happy to share with any of you. If you would like to do that, we can do that on That's Fancy sometime as well. But what I had planned for tonight was some smaller boxes because I'm thinking, okay, I'm being selfish. I will fess up. Easter is coming this weekend, and I'm not doing a whole lot. We're certainly not having a crowd, but at this point, as far as we know, all things being equal, because COVID seems to be flying around like crazy these days. But the plan is that my daughter and her fiance are going to come for dinner on one of the days. It was going to be on Good Friday. And then Lino's family was talking about getting together on Good Friday. So Laura and I were chatting yesterday and she said, could it be another day? And I said, you know what? We have no other plans. We saw Steve's sister a week ago, so we're not seeing her at Easter, and his boys are not coming. So we don't have plans with anybody else for Easter weekend. So you can have Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Pick one. Just let me know. So we are getting together with them at some point. We just don't know when. But I was thinking it would be nice to have some little, little treats at the table. I always like to do that Christmas and Easter. I don't do it all the time. But anyway, so today I was over at Walmart and I picked up some of those Cadbury cream eggs. I don't do Easter baskets for my kids anymore. I'd like to, but they don't eat a lot of that stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, what's the point in buying all this chocolate? If even my daughter, when she's older, she will start eating more chocolate, I'm sure. But right now, she does not eat a whole lot of chocolate. So thinking, why buy all this chocolate? I need brand babies. Clearly, I need brand babies so I can, make Easter baskets and hide Easter eggs again and all those fun things. But anyway, so for now, all I need is some little table favors and table decor. So I thought we would do something like that tonight because I wasn't really sure what size I needed, or I did buy the Cadbury cream eggs, but not quite sure exactly what all I'm going to do. So I have two to share with you. So I always have to do little treats. Yes, just little treats. No matter how old my kids are. Yes, that's true. But that's why it's just one Cadbury cream egg. And maybe actually I have some little, they're not Easter egg shape, other than I think they might be kind of sort of Easter egg shape, is those Bueno. They're from the same people that make the Kinder Surprise eggs, but they make Bueno, which is, it's got a hazelnut cream in it. And I know Laura likes those. So I do have some of those. So that's why I was thinking, well, I could put the cream egg in, and then I could also put a couple of those in or something. So we're going to make some containers, and there's going to be some little treats, but just a little bit of treats. So, all righty, let's get at her. Just flip this down and we can start. Okay, so I have put away all my stamps because there is no stamping for these things tonight. There is just cutting and scoring, and then they are decorated with designer series paper. So we will start, I think. I have a 2-inch cube that it's a little box, and it will fold flat, and I will fess up right now. I was going to make one of these this afternoon just to refresh on how to do it, and I didn't get to it. I did make the other one. I haven't made this one, so there may be a little bit of winging it. Hi, Donna. Not that you've ever seen me wing it before, right? Ha ha ha. Okay, so I have my cutter, and I need the arm out because the paper needs to be a little bit longer. So we're starting with a piece of cardstock that is going to be 8.5 by 7. And while we're here, I am going to cut my cardstock for the other box that I was going to make. And look, all right. So now I have, look, I had cut one of these because I was going to practice. Now I have 2. Might have to make 2 of these little cubey boxes. So there's the 8.5 by 7. And I'm really going to mess things up if I do this at the same time. Double sets of instructions. So we won't do that. Okay, 8.5 by 7. And I have brought in, just wheel it over here a little bit closer. I've brought in my scoreboard. Don't know whether you use a scoreboard or whether you just use the trimmer when you're scoring. You can use the trimmer. I love this baby. This is just a big flat table with all these beautiful score lines and everything. This sits on my counter with my guillotine paper cutter and my die cutting machines and everything. So I use this all the time. And I use it more than my trimmer for scoring. So anyway, I brought it in. So long side across the top, this is 8.5 inches. And we are going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then we are going to turn it to the short side, and we are going to score at 1/2. And this one's always just a little tricky because there's not really anywhere to hold it as you are doing it. There we go. Okay. 1/2, 2.5, 4.5, and 6.5. Okay, so that is our box, and it is all scored. We will cut some of it off, but first I am just going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. Why do I have? Okay, I'm just going to trust that it's correct. We will see. We will see what we will see. Something tells me this. I may need those 2 pieces of cards for when I mess up the first one. Oh, I think it's like this on both ends because this is a fold flat box, so it's got flap ends on both ends that you tuck in. So not a lot of adhesive required for this box, as I recall. I have made it before. It's in my book. I just haven't made it recently. Okay. So now we have okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have the small piece at the bottom, and I'm going to grab my paper snips, and we are going to keep this middle section, but we do not need the 2 outside pieces at the bottom here. So I'm going to take these off. On both sides, and my corner rounder is upstairs. And we need to grab my old corner rounder. And I don't know what we're going to use for a corner rounder in the future because the trio punch that we have right now is retiring. So if you have one, hang on to it because it's nice for rounding these corners. And I'm sure there is something else that you can use. I just haven't figured it out yet. So then we need, I kind of want to say we need one of these. We need all of this. So I am going to take off. I hope my instructions are good here. So I am taking off all of this edge except for the top piece. Okay. And keeping all of this piece at the top. And I think I do the same thing on this side. Here's hoping. Does this seem like the crazy lady is leading the parade here? As I say, my goal was to make one of these this afternoon, and I just ran out of time. But I had nothing else prepared. It's like, okay, I already planned to do these 2 boxes. I have to do these 2 boxes. So this is going to. I don't have enough squares. It's got to go this way. This is going to, oh, those are my tabs. Okay, we're still good. We're okay. Nobody panic. This is what's going to join. But we need to cut all of these so that they can tuck in. And I think we actually get rid of some of them. So let's just cut first so we can kind of see what we need to get rid of, what we need to keep, what we need to get rid of. So I'm just cutting these straight up. I may need to wedge some of them. I will figure that out as well. I do know, and I can tell you that this is a 2-inch square cube. So you're going to need 6 pieces of designer series paper to decorate all sides, and they will be 1 3/4 inches square. Okay, so there's the box. And then, okay, this guy definitely has to go. And these 2 will fold in. So these guys both need to go. Otherwise, we won't be able to close our box. So let's see, the easiest way to get it. This will be this way, I think. When in doubt, just build your box. go. Okay, so this is going to be where the box joins, and then we will have two flaps that close on each end. Okay, I'll set that aside. I am going to grab a corner rounder though, because when you have tabs that tuck in, they just tuck in easier. You have them rounded. So, anybody use Stampin' Up stuff back in the day? Remember these old punches, the old black ones? That was the first corner rounder that I owned. And then when they came out with the Project Life stuff, they came out with that one. So I have that one as well. But as I recall, this one works very nicely. So these are the pieces that we want the corners rounded on. And I will just do that. I think the corner rounder that we have right now, I'm not sure whether it's the same angle or not, but anyway, if this is not, doesn't take enough off, we'll trim it or something, but I think it should be okay. I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? Okay. Get rid of that guy. And then I should have cut my paper while we were here, shouldn't I? I didn't do that. Okay, so I need my trimmer again, and because these are square, you don't have to worry too much about right side up and upside down and all that jazz. I can just turn them as I need to. But they're just square. So 1 3/4 inches square to go on the 2 inches square box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So you do need 6 squares for the cube to decorate all of the sides. If you want to put designer series paper on them all, you don't have to. And it's easier to put your paper on while your box is still flat. So you just need to be careful. So the box is going to go this way. So we want to make sure that I'm going to say that this is the top. So this is the top for these 4 sides. The paper is up the right way. And I guess I've maybe cut a piece of paper for the bottom of the box, which I probably didn't need to do. But you would need 5 anyway. So maybe I'll just get I think I'm just going to put the adhesive onto 5 of these to start. So I may not put, put the designer series paper on the bottom of the box. You could. It would be a cube. I would then not be able to tell which way was up. Just saying. That's just me. But anyway, we'll start with this. And because these are going to be 4 different sides and it's all a fairly random pattern, I'm not worried about, actually they wouldn't line up exactly because I cut it from a long strip, not a wide strip. So if you had a pattern that you wanted to, create a picture going around your box, you would have to cut your paper across rather than down. But this is just random tulips, pretty random tulips. I have no tulips planted here, I don't think. No. Planted hyacinths, they're up, but they're not doing anything yet. But I have no tulips planted here. So I think I also want to take a little bit off. I'm going to take just a little bit off the edge of these. They don't need to go all the way across, and they'll just probably fold in a little bit nicer. Just take a little smidge off of all of these. We all know what a smidge is, don't we? I'm sure it's a real measurement. I'm taking about 1/8 of an inch, I guess, is what I have taken off there. And I think that it will just close a little bit nicer. So I think I want my opening at, or yeah, I think I want it to open at the front. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to put this piece on this way. Okay. And then we are ready to assemble the box. And I've just been using Stampin' Seal for my paper, but I would recommend tear and tape for hair, just because this is what is going to seal the seam of the box. So I just want something a little bit stronger than regular Stampin' Seal. You could probably use Seal Plus, would probably be strong enough. This is a fairly small box, but I am just going to use tear and tape. There we go. And where's my pokey tool? Take this off of here. So I was talking to my daughter Laura yesterday, and she said that they're struggling a little bit with the venue for their wedding because they were management's changed like 3 times since they originally went there for 2020. And now no one's responding to their emails, and apparently somebody that's getting married there in April was told that they may want to go ahead and get their own caterers, and oh my goodness, it's just it's not what any bride wants. So Laura's wedding's not till August, so hopefully they will have their act in gear by then, but it's just not the sort of things you want to hear. Apparently Lena was going there after work today to sort of get in their face and say, what is going on? So if you're wondering what I am doing now, I am now cutting a little bit of a wedge in these, just because when you fold these flaps in, it was becoming a bit of a tight fit to get everything down and in and layering past itself and all the rest of it. So I am just taking, look, another smidge. I'm taking a smidge off of all of the edges because you may recall earlier I said that I wasn't angling anything. I would do that later if it needed it, and now I've determined that it needs it. So it will just all close easier this way. So it's probably difficult for you to see, isn't it? Okay, look, and besides, this way I make a fine mess all over the table. There we go. Get that out of there. And now, hopefully, this will all fold up easily. We'll see in a moment. So that's a snug fit. This is going to be possibly a snug fit as well, which means the box won't it won't fall open. Yeah, these edges are just a tad wide. So see, as you make these boxes, if things don't fit, you just, shave little bits off here and there. We will make it fit. There we go. There you have it. So what do we think? I think I'm going to leave this just as cardstock so I can tell what the bottom is. And I didn't plan anything for the top. It might need, I don't know, maybe I could wrap ribbon around it or something. I'm not sure, but there's your box. And the nice thing with, excuse me, with these boxes, if you did want to make these to put treats in or for something for the future or whatever, you could make them in advance and you can store them flat, which is very handy because as I'm preparing stuff and storing stuff and trying to get ahead of the game, when I make a lot of boxes, then I have all these empty buckets sitting around, all these empty boxes and things that I've made, but they are solid, so you can't do that with them. But this one does fold flat, and these, I might make these top ones just a little bit smaller, shorter going across. They just look very long right now, so I probably will have a good, maybe a quarter of an inch that I will have taken off of here by the time all is said and done. It just looks a little bit more like how it should, except holy mackerel, that is not a very straight cut at all. We'll just straighten that out a little bit. That looks better. Looks a little bit more square there. So just tucks down. There we go. So there is the first box. This is the Flowering Fields paper, which I was going to mention earlier and then neglected to do so. So it's tulips. I don't have any designer series paper with bunnies or chicks or Easter pictures on it. I could have stamped some things, I suppose, but I decided to go with spring instead and not worry about Easter per se, but more spring. Yes, you are right, Donna. It will be very handy for small gifts. And I'm thinking, let me grab my sample egg here. They put these funny little tabs on these things now. These eggs used to be wrapped in foil when you got them. Now they've got this little sort of harder plastic container, but it's got this little thing on it. And I'm not sure it's going to fit in here, but the next box is just a little bit bigger. So, well, oh, look, fits just fine. Look at that. Even a little bit of room to spare. So I'll put this in here and then I'll forget where it is and I'll be looking for it at the end of the week going, I thought I had another egg. Where's that egg? What did I do with that egg? But yes, it will hold treats or little candies. It could hold small gifts. And again, as my kids always tell me, it will fit money. Any container will fit money. They're all over that one. Okay, let's move on to the next box. The next one is kind of like a little milk carton kind of shape. And for that one, we start with a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/4. Oh, 6 1/4 doesn't show up very well on this cutter. So 6 1/4 off of 8 1/2 is 2 1/4. Right? 6 1/4, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, 8 1/2. Yes, 2 1/4. Okay, double check my calculations. So take that off of there, and then we need it 10 1/2 inches long. It's not very often that I'm trying to do a cut on this trimmer that falls right in this join area where it's a little bit tricky to see exactly where the line would be, and I think it's right there, but anyway, you can usually do the math and do the calculation the other way around, which is what I did, and I guess we'll know in a few minutes if I did the math right. So 10 and 10, and I cut it too short. That wasn't even math. That was just me messing up. Okay, so that piece will be used for, let's see, 6 1/4. I can't even use it for the other box because it's just wrong. Okay. Highland Heather box, take 2. Hello, Sarah. You're just in time to watch me mess up cutting cardstock for this box. So what did we say? 2 1/4. 2 1/4. Because I need a piece that is 6 1/4. And then I need it to be 10 1/2. 10 1/2. Not 1/4. 1/2. Which is why I had, what did I do here? This is 3/4. I was, oh yeah, 10 1/4, yes. So I should have just a 1/2 inch that I'm taking off. That looks better. You do it all the time. Okay, I feel better, yes. I'm not even converting my measurements. I just, looked at the ruler wrong. So now I think I'm ready for the scoreboard again. Okay, on the long side. So I've got the, look, it really is 10 1/2 this time. And I have the 10 1/2 across the top. We are going to score it at 2 1/2, 5, 7 1/2, and 10. Okay, and then we are going to turn it to the short side, and we are going to score at 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 4 1/2, and 5 3/4. Okay, then I'm going to turn it back, same direction. So first I started here, I turned it like this, and now I am turning it back the same way. So I have just a narrow part at the top here and a narrow part down the right side. And I'm going to score at 1 1/4 and 6 1/4, but only down to this first score line. I think you should be able to see that. I think you can see that score line on the video. So I'm going to score at 1 1/4, just down to the first score line, and 6 1/4 down to the first score line. Okay, so that is all of our scoring for this one. So we are going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. If you are making any kind of 3D items, you absolutely want to be using your Born folder so you get nice crisp folds, so that oh, it's heavy now. When you make a cube, it comes out as a cube. It's not it's not a little bit rounded or a little bit off kilter and stuff, although it could be if your score lines are wrong, but but it'll look crisp. And if you cut your paper in the wrong place, well then, you have to start over at some point, because things just won't fit together then. Anyway, okay, so I've scored on the main score lines. I'm not worried about these 2 extra little score lines. We'll get to those in a little bit. Okay. Just doing the full score lines here. So there we are. Okay, so now we have a sort of lopsided looking box, container, whatever. And so I think there are some extra pieces here. Yes, this, just one on this one. So just this narrow bottom piece. I am going to take this out completely. And I kind of think I left the other one in. One of them I had taken it out, and I thought it looked a little bit odd. So I'm going to leave the rest of that in. And then I am going to cut all of these bottom pieces because this is the bottom that is going to fold together all over itself. Okay, and I haven't angled any of these. This one went together okay without it, because this one I did actually make this afternoon. I did get to it. So this is going to come together like this, and these all folded together okay. They, for some reason, they weren't too lumpy, but you certainly can. So if this is the back of my box, put the seam at the back. Is that how that will work? Side, side. Maybe this will be the front. So this one I'm going to leave square. Okay, the second one, and I am going to just cut a little bit of a wedge onto all of these, and then it will definitely come together. So usually when you're making a box, you want to wedge, cut little wedges just so they fold together nicely and you don't have too much cardstock over top of cardstock. But I like to leave the bottom one, the one that's going to show, square, so that it kind of covers over everything. And it doesn't have to be a very big wedge. Just a little bit, just so there's some room in the corners. Okay, there we go. More mess on the desk. There we go. Okay, for this one, we are just going to decorate this row. I guess we could decorate two of the tops as well. Maybe I'll try. I haven't done that on any of them, but I'll have to measure that. So the designer series paper for this is 2 1/4 by 1 3/4, and it's 2 1/4 across the top of your paper. So bring my paper back in. I am going to cut it at 2 1/4. And then I need pieces that are 1 3/4. And we need 4 of these. 1, 2, paper's not, to me, it doesn't seem as bright spring colors, but it's my favorite. I love these colors. I think they're really pretty together. So then I'm also going to cut 2 pieces for the top. So this section is 2 1/2 by 1. 1 and, oh my goodness, I am going to say it is 1 1/4. Okay, so 2 1/2. So I need 2 1/4, 2 1/4 by 1. So this is 2 1/4 still, and then I just need it 1 inch. And before I cut the second one, I'm just going to see if that looks like it's the right sizing. Yes, I think that's what it would be, because that's what these will be below it. There will be. So there is cardstock border, but that's the size. So 2 1/4 by 1. Oh. Okay, so we are done with that for now. And then just need to get adhesive on the back of all of these. Okay, now that was cut the exact same way, and that one looks like it's going in a bad direction, but it's cut the same. It's just just the way the pieces went. I wonder if I should put plain purple on the top. No, I should not, because I have plain purple. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. Not that I'm trying to get rid of, but okay. Trying to hurry with this a little bit, and I'm getting adhesive running everywhere. Am I in the camera? Oh, only just, aren't I? I'm just putting tape runner on here. I'll come back. So hopefully everybody has some sort of plans for Easter. I don't know if you do family dinners, or I don't even know what the weather's supposed to be like, but it's often a nice time to just go for a walk in the neighborhood, because usually it's some of the first nice weather. I don't know what I'm going to do all weekend. There's we're not quite sure what we're going to do with church services now, because our pastor sent an email today. Her husband was with someone who tested positive for COVID, and now he has tested positive, and she has not tested positive yet, but she said she's not feeling well. So they thought her husband was suffering from seasonal allergies, because I guess he suffers from that. But then he found out his friend has tested positive, and now he has tested positive. And as I say, she has not yet, but she figures she will, since she feels like she's got a cold or not doing too well. So that's going to kind of mess up plans for Easter services. She will be certainly doing them from her. Well, I think she said she'd do them from her office. Her office is attached to the parsonage as opposed to attached to the church. So she can be in her office and not in the church. But it's kind of an unfortunate thing, as we try to get back to gathering in person, and they were planning, the plan is to do a lot of the service outside anyway, so that the amount of time that people are together indoors is dramatically reduced, or very little, so that starts service outside and ends the service outside. Maybe they'll be doing the whole service outside, who knows. Okay, so I've decorated these, and then we are going to put tear and tape onto our little joiner piece here. And I'm going down this whole thing, right from the top to the bottom. There we go. That's a nice press. Sometimes this comes off so easily, and other times it wants to fight with me. There we go. Not too bad. I don't know whether you noticed on the last box or not, but the easiest way when you are making boxes, rather than trying to hold it and line it up and get it all square and in the right place and everything, if you just fold this piece in and then you fold this piece in, assuming you've had nice crisp score lines and everything, you will have a perfect join right there where you want it. Forgot to put the tape on the bottom. Should have done that, but I did not, so that's okay. We can still do it now. So where is my top piece? This is my top piece. So the top piece, you want to make sure you put your tear and tape on the inside, because you don't want the sticky stuff on the outside. So I'm going to do that one right now. And when I make boxes, I usually just put a piece of adhesive on the bottom, because as you you fold one and the other and the other, it gets taped in various places, so it tends to hold. Now these others you do want on the outside, because especially your first one, when you put your first one in, you don't want it sticky inside the box. So this one's on the inside, but these will go on the outside. Sure hope I have this right. I'm on camera, I get very nervous that I'm messing it up, but I don't think I am. No, it's on the opposite side. I can see that it's on the opposite side to the first one. I was very careful about where to put the first one. Oh, and one more, this one. Sorry, am I, oh, is that okay? Realize I'm not paying attention to, when I stamp, I tend to make sure everything is way out there, but I'm just not checking that as much tonight. So that was just a little bit long, but okay, now it's stuck to me. Okay. Alrighty, so I am just going to pull all of these off. Oh, that's different. I haven't had that before. Oh. Now you do want to be a little bit careful as you are taking some of these off, because it will start to be sticky on exposed areas. So you don't want to be laying it down when you have the sticky sides exposed. Do that one. I'm going to hold these up now, which means I may not be able to use the pokey tool. Fingernail. Grabbing too much. Maybe I can do it this way. One more. The whole thing there. Oh. Okay, so this one where I have tape, that is going to be the top. So I'm going to fold in the side edges, and you just want to make sure you're holding it square. Okay. And then this one goes on the top. Okay, so that's all very square and very contained. So then what I usually do after is just take my bone folder, or you can use a ruler or something. Bone folder works really well. It's just if you make a tall container, it's too short, but and just push around on the inside so that all of your stuff is stuck down all those edges. And then remember these little score lines that we made. So I'm just going to pinch that, okay, and I'm going to pinch this, and then that will allow me to push these in. And this is where you just have to play with it a little bit, because we did fold on these score lines, but not all of the ways that we're trying to make it go now. So you just have to coax it a little bit. There we go. And as you push it down into sort of a milk carton kind of shape, it creates the creases there on your angles. So as long as you start with a score line in there, it does tend to fold fairly easily and quite nicely. Okay, and there's your box. Now I have this is the one that I made this afternoon. As I said, look, I had never decorated this part before. I could go back and add some designer series paper. You only need it for 2 of them because these would obviously get all smushed up. But I punched holes and thread ribbon through, but you have to punch through like 4 layers of cardstock, and it just about killed me. And so you need to go into your stash because we don't sell these things right now. However, if you're like me, you have a stash of stuff, and maybe you have some of these little clothes pegs. You could close it with a clothes peg, I think. I haven't actually tried it, but yes, so you could close it with a clothes peg, or you could close it with one of these little clips, or you could punch holes. I mean, the hole punch and the ribbon tie is lovely, but oh my gosh, I thought I killed my hand. So this will hold it closed as well, and it's so much easier on my hands. So if you have some of these, you can use those, or any other little clippy things that you had. We have brads. I thought about putting a brad through here. I'd still have to push a pokey tool through, but a pokey tool would probably be easier to push through here than the hole punch. So anyway, but I know my egg will fit in here. Grab another egg. And this was the one I was thinking. If I use this, there's lots of extra room for some of those other Bueno chocolates. I could put a couple of those in there too. So we'll see. Haven't decided what I'm going to do. There's only going to be 4 of us though, so I don't need a whole lot of anything. But I was thinking I would make a couple in purple and a couple in orange, and I didn't know which container. But there they are. There's the containers with our Easter treats or little gifts or anything else you want. You could put into those. So here we go. A little bit hard to see on the angle, isn't it? But let me come back here. Come back. There we go. Oh, I am back. So those are the boxes that we have for tonight. And if you are entertaining over Easter, perhaps you'll make some of those and fill them with some little treats for your visitors. And if you're not doing little treats, you could put little gifts in there for birthday or little hostess gifts, or just, something to brighten someone's day. What else could we put in there? I don't think it'll hold a tea bag necessarily. It's a little small for the tea bag packages. You could modify the sizing. What else? We need ideas, ladies. Get the ideas flowing. What other little gifty things could we put in here? You could probably get some little seed packets or something. You might have to fold them up, but then that would be very spring, wouldn't it? We shared some seeds or something. So anyway, I think if I spend a little time thinking about it, I could probably come up with a few ideas. And there's always that fallback position, as my kids say. Well, money will fit in there. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me this evening for That's Fancy. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the little boxes, and I hope you have an awesome Easter weekend. If I don't see you before then, there is no, I should mention this too. There is no Connie's Craft Along this Friday. It's Good Friday. And when I was looking at what was what, I actually, at that point, I thought my daughter and son-in-law were going to be coming on Friday. So I thought, well, don't know who else is doing family get-togethers for Easter or Passover, but we won't do Connie's Craft Along. And I thought, oh, but that's a fun one. So on Monday, we will do a Connie's Fancy Craft Along. So maybe we'll do a fancy fold card or something. I haven't quite decided yet, but that was sort of what I was thinking. I'll kind of do a Connie's Craft Along that's a little fancier maybe than some of them, or something that's a little bit stepped up, or I don't know. That's a whole week away. I'll work on it. I have time to plot and plan. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Please share this video with your friends and family. If you share it on your Facebook page, then all of the people that you're connected to will have an opportunity to see it and enjoy some crafting time as well. So thank you very much for doing that. I would appreciate it, and have an awesome Easter weekend. We will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.